I don't know if you managed to recognize the presence of the shopping center Poseidon by the screen, as it's a bit far away from here. Anyway, why am I mentioning that place that you already saw in a previous video of mine? It's just to let you understand more or less where we are, and precisely we are in the lovely seafront of Capaci. Capaci is a small village next to Carini, as you already noticed. This morning I told myself I have definitely to take benefit from the nice weather we are having to film that seafront. In the meantime I was getting dressed. Somebody noted me, so he decided to place himself at the door of the apartment as he wanted to go out. Then you can quietly imagine who I'm talking about. Rocky, of course. Come here. By now you gotta know that it's not me anymore to decide if he has to go out or not. It's him. So basically I don't have any will about it. Anyway, beyond the joke, why I decided to come here? The purpose was to film this lovely beach, as I just said, but mainly to show the world which kind of weather we can have at the end of September. In fact, today, according to the forecast, we'll reach the 30 degrees. I know that it can appear crazy for such month, but in Sicily can happen. Let's say that in general that's not the average temperature that we have in this time of the year, but may happen, like today, that a wind from North Africa called Sirocco reaches Sicily, so we have this increase of temperature. Say that I can quietly declare that the temperature we have in today it's just an exception. Also, to conclude this topic, that is about the weather in Sicily, I'd like to tell you about a funny episode of my life. It was the 2016 and precisely the middle of October. I got the master in economics, so I wanted to celebrate it, and for that reason I've chosen a restaurant, a fancy restaurant. I wanted to appear elegant, so I decided to get dressed with the jacket and tie. What happened? The day before the celebration, that is the dinner with familiars and friends, it was pretty fresh. It was around 20 degrees. Instead, that very day, we had 37 degrees. Guys, you gotta trust me, I was about to die, and along with me, all the guests I had. And finally, the day following, again 20 degrees. So I told myself, evidently, somebody up there didn't want me to have a nice evening. Now I let Rocky rest a little while, as it's becoming very hot for him. He loves staying under the shadow, mainly. By the way, talking about this place, I know it's appearing almost empty, but it's normal, as we are at the end of the summer. You gotta know, in fact, that during summertime, this place becomes very crowded. Too much, according to my tastes. In fact, it's a bit hard to find a parking with your car when you decide to come here. And at the same time, it's a bit hard to find some room on the beach where placing yourself to sunbathe and to swim. Why happens that? Because most part of the beach is completely covered with platforms, with bathing platforms that rent deck chairs and umbrellas. So if you pay, then you will make everything easy and quick. Otherwise you have to find your little place where staying, so you have to suffer, let's say, a little bit. Talking about me and running the risk of appearing crazy, I want to declare that the time of the year which I prefer the most coming here is definitely the winter, and especially on January and February. That is the coldest times of the year. Why I love doing that? Because I like the idea of coming here and finding nobody, just enjoying the fresh wind, the view of the sea, in short, the essence of nature. Instead, talking about going to swim, I must admit that in general I prefer the rocks to the sand. Why I said that? Just because basically I don't like the idea of having the sand stuck on me when I get out of the water. Now a closer view of the sea, that as you can note yourself, it's slightly rough. You gotta know that sometimes happens to have the sea completely flat. It's like a table, very impressive. Today we are not that lucky, but not even unlucky. Let's say we are halfway. To conclude the video, a nice picture of people getting fresh into the water. Guys, don't forget that we are at the end of September, but in Sicily it's possible. Also, on the background there is the presence of a small island, which I'll talk later on in a next video. Let's say that we keep it like a mystery for now. Finally, I'd say last but not least, cheers from Rocky. If you liked the video, please put a like on it and subscribe the channel. Bye!